back, friends, to Max Q Barbecue. My name is Craig, and this is Backyard Offset Smoker Fire Management Series number 17. Today we're going to take a look back at two different fire management techniques. First, we're going to look at a live wood fire burning technique that is pretty typical of the Workhorse 1957 pit and many other smaller backyard offset smokers. We're going to contrast that with a new technique that we've been experimenting with that uses the Fat Daddy charcoal basket and using a long, slow burn technique. So stick around and let's find out, which technique do you like better? Which one works better? What are the pros and cons? Stick around. We're going to start our look back by going back to fire management number 14, which was a live wood fire technique. So let's look back and look at some of the video of how we set up and constructed the fire for that live wood fire burning construction. So stick around to see how a small fire and grab some ideas on how you can manage your small backyard offset smoker to make great backyard offset smoked brisket. We're going to start our fire today with our favorite wood split starting technique. We're going to use a chimney of some lump charcoal with some paper underneath it so that we can start the fire without using any chemicals or petroleum distillates. But to get our paper started, we're going to use our little torch here, light our paper under our fire basket. All right, friends, it's almost 12 o'clock noon here, and we're going to go ahead. Our charcoal chimney is completely ignited now, so now we're going to build our wood split fire with our hickory. So let's empty out our charcoal basket. There we go. Got that emptied out. Take our little fire poker here. Spread that around a little bit. Always bring my charcoal a little closer to my door. That way my heat is as far away from the cook chamber as I can. Now we're doing a low and slow brisket today. So we're going to be cooking for about 6 hours. And so we're going to go ahead and get the charcoal in there. And let's start taking our wood splits and putting in there. We have our hickory wood splits. We're going to build a little bit of a TP here. These are kind of thin right here, but we're just going to get the fire started. We've got our signal works working over here. And this will be just to get us going and get us started here. Got the wood splits in there. Give you a quick view real quick. Got the wood splits in the fire on the charcoal bed. Now we're going to close everything up and let the barbecue pit start to warm up. Our current temperature right now, outside temperature is 47 degrees. Pit temperature is 40 degrees. It's a little colder inside the metal chamber there, but we're going to get it warmed up here in just a second. All right, let's get this lid down. Damper's wide open. Get this down. And let our fire start moving through our pit. Okay, friends, it's 12:35. Remember, we started our fire a little over a half an hour ago. But I just want to show you, our splits are gone. They're completely burned down. Well, we got a good coal bed going. So I'm gonna kind of shape our coal bed a little bit and start putting on our splits that we're going to use to maintain our fire and our temperature. We're going to go with 3 here since it's early. See how that does. Notice I've got these grates choke down pretty good there. It's a cold day today, a lot of wind today, so we're probably going to see a lot of fluctuations in our temperatures. Okay, we'll see you back when it's time to check our fire again, probably in about 30 minutes. It is 5 after 1. Our pit temperature is about 245 degrees at the grate, which is our sweet spot for our smoking our brisket. But it's been about 30 minutes since I put those splits on there, so let's take a look and see how we're doing. And looks like we're doing pretty good. Our split up here is burned pretty well. So I'm going to rotate our splits a little bit. This one on the left side is just about charcoal. I've got that and that. And what I'll do is I'll go ahead and put a couple of more splits on here just so they can heat up. Put them off to the side for the next heating. And their temperatures are probably spiking right now because I got the door open. So let me get this door closed. Nice clean fire though. It's gonna have some great smoke flavor. This is my favorite live wood fire burning technique. From the video you can see from the diagram that I put together that we build a nice hot coal bed at the base of our rounded bottom pit of our Workhorse 1957. The coal bed provides the heat to ignite the splits and to burn the wood and to maintain those combustion temperatures. Then I place 2 or 3 wood splits on top of the coal bed, separated and running longitudinally along the cook chamber or the fire chamber, feeding the air down through the middle of the splits. Now I know there's a lot of people that will, and I even do it myself, you'll sometimes build a log cabin type of setup, but when I'm in the middle of the cook and I'm maintaining the flow of air and the flow of fire, I find that having the splits longitudinal on the coal bed and allowing the air to flow between the splits, I can control the fire better as far as the temperature. I can open up the gap, let more air flow, let the splits burn quicker. I can close down the gap, slow down the air, and slow down the burn rate. Also, I can adjust the butterflies to control the burn rate of the wood on the wood splits. Now, another favorite technique that I have is I always like to place a couple of splits on the side of the fire chamber, just off of the coal bed, to get those splits warming up. And what this does is it warms up those splits, and when I go to move them to the center over the coal bed, you get very quick ignition of those splits, very little dirty or acrid smoke coming off of it because they're already hot, they already ignite, and they burn very, very cleanly. So now let's switch over and go over to fire management video number 13 and look at the Fat Daddy charcoal basket technique that I've been using as well. Again, this is a live fire because I always put wood splits in the basket to get that hickory flavor or apple flavor or pecan flavor depending upon the wood that I'm using. But I'm using more of the charcoal briquettes to maintain the heat of the cook chamber and of the firebox. So let's go take a look at Fire Management 13 and see how I construct the fire for the Fat Daddy charcoal basket. We're going to start our fire management with a little bit of some leftover charcoal from our last cook, and we're going to take some hickory splits and lay here along the bottom of the basket. Now these hickory splits will be able to provide that hickory flavor we want during our cook, while our charcoal briquettes provide the heat. So now let me get the charcoal briquettes opened up and we'll pour a layer of charcoal briquettes. Our goal today is to get as much charcoal in the basket as we can possibly get to give us this long and slow burn so we can heat up this pit and not have to deal with the fire a lot during the afternoon. All right, folks, you can see we've got our Fat Daddy fire basket packed about as full as you can get it packed with charcoal. And we've got about 5 hickory splits mixed in within all the charcoal. And so now we're going to go ahead and light one end, the far end down here of our charcoal, using our propane torch. So let's see if we can get this thing started and get it going. Folks, that was about 2 minutes worth of propane, and we got a nice burn on this end of our firebox. Only 2 minutes of propane burn and we got it going. Let's examine the features of the Fat Daddy charcoal briquette basket and fire construction. First of all, you'll notice from the video that we ignited the end of the charcoal basket. This is very similar to those that use sort of a ribbon or a snaking charcoal fire in other types of pits so that you can have the charcoal gradually burn down over the period of the cook. And we're accomplishing the same thing with our Fat Daddy basket by lighting one end and letting it move from the source of air through the charcoal all the way to the back of the pit. The second thing is we've got this diagram, which we'll put up on the video here, and you can see the charcoal basket is ventilated on all sides so air can come into the charcoal around the charcoal. But I always like to put some wood splits in the middle of the charcoal to give that natural wood flavor. Remember, that's why most people want to use live fire, is they want to get that smoke flavor that you only get from burning real wood. So how did we do with the 2 fire construction techniques? The spreadsheet that I'm displaying on the screen contains the times and the amount of difference between the burn time for that fire between feedings. So if you look at the first table to the left, you'll see that we started the fire at 12 p.m. and we fed it for the first time at 12:34. So that was a 34-minute burn time with the real live wood splits. If you go over to the column with long number 1, you'll see that we started that fire at 1:36 p.m. and we didn't feed it until 2:34, which was 58 minutes. And even when we fed it at 2:34, all we did was add real wood splits to the top of the fire, top of the charcoal bed, to add more fuel for it. So it wasn't quite the same as replacing all the charcoal briquettes, which we do later in the video, but it just goes to show that it's still a live wood fire. It's just that we're using the charcoal briquettes to provide that steadier temperatures throughout our cooks. And we'll look at some graphs and some charts later in this video today so you can see what the impact is of the charcoal briquettes on your cook temperatures compared to that of the live wood fire technique or fire construction technique. Looking at our temperature table, you will notice that in the first table to the left, which is our live wood fire table, you'll notice that our average length of burn time between feeding the fire was 43 minutes. And if you go over and look at the table on the right, which was our charcoal briquette supplemented fire, you'll notice that our average was 1 hour and 22 minutes. Wow, that was quite a bit of difference between burn times. That we went from having 11 feedings of the live wood fire down to 5 feedings of the charcoal briquette assisted fire, a reduction in 55% of the times where we had to go out and feed the fire. The duration of the fire increased from 43 minutes up to an hour and 22 minutes. That was an increase in 38 minutes, which was an 89% increase in fire duration. So you can see, if you're a busy cook and you don't have a lot of time to spend out tending to the wood fire in your pit, this technique of using the charcoal briquettes with your wood splits can actually increase your burn time. And when we get to the temperature charts, you'll see that it stabilizes those temperatures and holds them more steady across your cook time. So let's get over to our cook charts and take a look and compare the two and see how they did. The chart on your screen shows the two temperature charts for the wood splits live fire cook compared to the charcoal briquettes long duration technique or construction. And both of these cooks were about the same amount of cook time. There was 7 hours and 58 minutes with the live fire. So it was a little bit longer than the charcoal briquettes, which was 6 hours and 50 minutes. Just about an hour difference. But you'll immediately notice a huge difference in the stability of the temperatures in the pit and the amount of time and attendance to the fire that is taken between the two techniques. Again, note that with the live wood splits that you often get spiky and more sinusoidal types of temperature fluctuations. The temperature goes up when you put wood on the fire, it burns, and as it burns down and decomposes the splits into charcoal, then the temperature begins to drop. You feed it again, it goes back up, and you get that same up and down variance. Well, you get the same variance also with the second technique. With the second technique, the difference is the variance is stretched out over a longer period of time. We started the charcoal briquette fire at 1:36 p.m. and by 4:08 was the first time that we really felt like the temperatures had fallen enough that we needed to add more charcoal to the fire. So you can see that the techniques, the charcoal briquette technique tends to hold the temperature steadier, less fluctuation. You're still going to have fluctuations. It's real fire, it's real wood, it's real fuel. So you're still going to have those fluctuations, but the charcoal briquette technique seems to really balance those temperatures out for a longer period of time and giving you more time to spend inside with your family or doing other things other than tending to the fire. Both techniques give really good barbecue flavor. Both techniques cook and smoke the meat with tremendous wood flavor and get that nice bark that you're looking for. It just really depends on how much time and energy you want into managing that fire versus spending a little bit of time doing other things around the house. So take some time to look at the data, look at the temperature charts, and look at the fire construction techniques. Let me know in the comments below, which technique do you like best? What works best in your small backyard offset smoker? Obviously, smokers are different. This was a Workhorse 1957. You may have a different brand. You might have an Old Country Pitts or some other offset backyard smoker. Let us know in the comments below which one you think works best. And if you've got the equipment and to take the temperatures and collect some of the data, let us know how your experiments with fire management work as well. I hope you enjoyed our video today and recap of a couple of different fire management techniques. We try to work hard to bring you this content so we can get this channel talking about what works best and what works for our community using small backyard offset smokers. So I hope you enjoyed our video today. Be sure to like and subscribe, and thanks for watching. See you on the next one.